Japanese kitchen culture treats vegetable prep as a genuine craft, not just a chore to rush through before the real cooking starts. That mindset has produced an entire category of specialized cutting tools, some designed for speed, some for precision, and some purely for the kind of delicate, decorative presentation you'd expect at a traditional kaiseki meal. These tools aren't just about looking impressive either, since the way a vegetable is cut genuinely affects how it cooks. Number 10. Sinjiri Cabbage Shredder. Starting off at number 10 is the Sinjiri Cabbage Shredder, a tool built specifically around one of the most recognizable sides in Japanese cuisine, the impossibly fine shredded cabbage served alongside tonkatsu and other fried dishes. Sinjiri translates roughly to 1,000 cuts, and that name captures exactly what this tool is designed to achieve, producing thread-like, almost hair-thin ribbons of cabbage that would take an enormous amount of skill and time to replicate with a standard knife. The shredder typically features a fixed or adjustable blade set at a shallow angle within a flat frame, and you run a halved or quartered cabbage across the blade using firm, even pressure, producing a continuous pile of delicate shreds in seconds. That extreme fineness matters for more than presentation, since finely shredded cabbage has a noticeably lighter, crisper texture that pairs perfectly with rich, fried foods, cutting through greasiness in a way thicker-cut cabbage simply can't manage. Many versions include an adjustable thickness dial, letting you shift from the classic paper-thin cut used for tonkatsu garnish to a slightly thicker shred better suited for coleslaw-style salads or stir-fries. The blade itself needs to stay genuinely sharp to produce clean, uniform shreds rather than torn, ragged pieces, so most quality Sinjiri shredders use high-carbon stainless steel blades designed to hold an edge through repeated heavy use. Because the tool is essentially flat with an exposed blade, most designs include a handguard to keep fingers safely away from the cutting surface as the cabbage gets smaller toward the end of a pass. It's a genuinely specialized tool, built around one specific cut, but for anyone who cooks Japanese comfort food regularly, it turns a task that would otherwise require serious knife skills and real patience into something fast, consistent, and remarkably easy. Number 9. Katsuramuki Rotary Peeler. The Katsuramuki Rotary Peeler, a tool built to replicate one of the most impressive traditional Japanese knife techniques without requiring years of training to master. Katsuramuki refers to the practice of peeling a daikon radish or cucumber into one single, continuous, paper-thin sheet, rotating the vegetable against a blade in an unbroken spiral motion, a skill professional chefs spend years refining by hand. The rotary peeler mechanizes that same basic motion, using a hand-cranked or manually rotated mechanism that holds the vegetable steady against a fixed blade while turning it in a controlled spiral, peeling away one continuous, remarkably thin ribbon rather than the short, choppy strips a standard peeler produces. That unbroken sheet is genuinely useful beyond just looking impressive, since it can be rolled into delicate garnishes, used to wrap other ingredients, or sliced further into extremely fine julienne strips for garnishing sashimi and other refined dishes. Achieving that same result by hand with a knife requires real technique, careful blade angle control, and steady rotation of the vegetable, which is exactly the skill this tool is designed to shortcut. Most versions clamp securely to a countertop or cutting board, keeping the whole setup stable while you crank the mechanism, and the blade itself is typically adjustable, letting you control the thickness of the resulting sheet depending on what you're making. It does take a bit of practice to feed the vegetable in evenly and maintain consistent pressure throughout the rotation, since an uneven feed can tear the sheet partway through. But for home cooks who want to replicate a genuinely advanced traditional technique without spending years training under a chef, this tool makes that specific, elegant cut achievable in a fraction of the time. Number 8. Hanagiri Vegetable Flower Cutters. Coming in at number 8 are Hanagiri Vegetable Flower Cutters, a set of small, hollow metal punches specifically designed to transform ordinary vegetable slices into decorative flower and leaf shapes for garnishing. Hanagiri translates to flower cutting, and these tools are a genuine staple in traditional Japanese presentation, used to turn a plain slice of carrot, radish, or cucumber into a small, precise floral shape that elevates the visual appeal of a dish without requiring any real hand-carving skill. Each cutter in a typical set features a differently shaped hollow blade, commonly a cherry blossom, maple leaf, or plum flower silhouette, and using one is as simple as pressing the shape firmly down through a thin slice of vegetable, punching out a clean, consistent shape every single time. Because the cutters are hollow rather than solid, they slice cleanly through the vegetable's flesh without crushing or bruising it, preserving both texture and color, which matters a lot for garnishes meant to sit brightly on top of a finished dish. Many traditional Japanese dishes use these decorative cuts specifically on carrots simmered in dashi, giving a modest side dish a genuinely elegant, seasonal appearance without much added effort once you understand the tool. Some higher-end sets include finer detail work built into the cutter's edge, adding small notches or grooves that suggest flower petals or leaf veins after cutting, adding an extra layer of realism to the finished shape. Most cutters are made from stainless steel, durable enough to handle firmer vegetables like carrot or daikon without bending, and small enough that an entire set fits easily into a small drawer or tin. It's a purely presentation-focused tool, but in a cuisine where visual seasonality is taken as seriously as flavor, Hanagiri cutters are a genuinely practical way to bring that tradition into a home kitchen. Number 7. Namigiri Wave Cutter. The Namigiri Wave Cutter, a rolling blade tool designed to produce a distinctive crinkle-cut edge on vegetables like carrots, cucumbers, and daikon, and it's genuinely more functional than it first appears. The tool typically consists of a small wheel with a wavy, zigzagging blade edge attached to a simple handle, and rolling it firmly across a vegetable produces a continuous rippled cut rather than a straight, flat slice. That wavy edge isn't purely decorative, since the increased surface area created by the crinkle pattern actually helps vegetables absorb marinades, dressings, and simmering liquids more effectively than a flat-cut piece would, meaning a wave-cut carrot in a simmered dish picks up more flavor throughout its texture than a plain sliced one. It's also genuinely useful for pickling, a major part of Japanese home cooking, since the increased surface area speeds up how quickly a vegetable absorbs salt and vinegar during a quick pickle, producing a more evenly seasoned result in less time. Visually, the rippled edge adds an immediate sense of craftsmanship to even a simple side dish, turning ordinary sliced cucumber or daikon into something that looks intentionally prepared rather than roughly cut. Most namigiri tools use a small rolling wheel design that you push or roll directly across the surface of a vegetable, similar in motion to using a pizza cutter, which makes it remarkably fast once you get a feel for the right amount of pressure. Some versions come as a fixed cutting tool rather than a rolling wheel, requiring a rocking motion instead, though the rolling wheel style tends to be faster for larger batches. It's a genuinely simple tool, but the combination of better seasoning absorption and an elevated visual presentation is exactly why it's remained a staple in traditional Japanese vegetable prep for generations. Number 6. Kazari Giri Garnish Knife Set. Landing at number 6 is the Kazari Giri Garnish Knife Set, a small collection of specialized short-bladed knives designed specifically for intricate decorative vegetable carving rather than everyday chopping. Kazari Giri refers broadly to the traditional art of decorative cutting, and while some of that work can be done with a standard knife by a skilled hand, these purpose-built small blades make fine detail work dramatically more accessible, since each knife in the set is shaped for a very specific type of cut. A typical set includes a narrow, pointed blade for carving fine lines and petal shapes into vegetables like radish or cucumber, a small curved blade for scooping and hollowing, and a thin, flexible blade for peeling extremely delicate, controlled curls. These tools are commonly used to create the kind of elaborate vegetable garnishes seen in high-end kaiseki dining. Things like a radish carved into the shape of a chrysanthemum or a cucumber sliced into a decorative fan, details that transform a simple garnish into something that feels genuinely artistic. Because the blades are small and precise rather than long and broad, they offer far more control for detailed, close-up carving work than a standard chef's knife ever could, letting a skilled user create clean, deliberate lines without the risk of an oversized blade slipping or overcutting. Learning to use a Kazari Giri set well does take real practice and a genuine interest in decorative technique, since the value of the tools is entirely tied to skill rather than being something that produces impressive results automatically. But for anyone serious about traditional Japanese presentation, whether for special occasion cooking or just a personal creative outlet, these small, purpose-built blades open up an entire world of decorative vegetable work that a standard kitchen knife simply isn't suited for. Number 5. Rensetsu Multi-Blade Julienne Comb. The Rensetsu Multi-Blade Julienne Comb, a tool built around a row of tightly spaced, parallel blades set into a single frame, designed to produce a full batch of perfectly uniform matchstick-cut vegetables in one motion. Rather than making dozens of individual knife cuts to julienne a carrot or daikon by hand, you simply drag the vegetable across the comb's blade row, and every pass produces a complete set of evenly spaced, identically sized strips, dramatically speeding up a task that would otherwise take real time and careful knife control to do consistently well. That uniformity matters significantly in Japanese cooking, where julienne vegetables are frequently used in salads like the classic carrot and daikon enamel, or as delicate garnishes arranged alongside sashimi, contexts where visibly inconsistent cuts stand out immediately and detract from the overall presentation. Most rensetsu combs are adjustable, allowing you to change the spacing between blades to produce either extremely fine, hair-like strips or slightly thicker matchsticks depending on the dish, giving genuine versatility from a single tool. The blades themselves are typically made from durable stainless steel, closely spaced, and angled specifically to slice cleanly through firm vegetables like carrot, daikon, and cucumber without tearing or crushing the strips as they're produced. Because the tool works through a single continuous motion rather than repeated individual cuts, it also significantly reduces prep time when a recipe calls for a large volume of julienne vegetables, which matters especially in professional kitchens working through large batches during service. It does require the vegetable to be reasonably firm and relatively straight for the comb to work effectively, and very oddly shaped produce can be harder to feed through evenly. But for anyone who regularly needs clean, consistent julienne cuts, it removes a genuinely tedious task and replaces it with something fast, repeatable, and visually polished every single time. Number 4. Origata Ceramic Orashigane Grater. The Origata Ceramic Orashigane Grater, a specialized fine grater distinguished by its dense, closely packed ceramic teeth, built specifically for turning daikon, ginger, and other delicate ingredients into a fine, juicy pulp rather than rough, fibrous shreds. Unlike a standard metal grater, which uses sharp punched-out teeth that tend to tear vegetable flesh into stringy, uneven pieces, the ceramic surface on this tool breaks ingredients down more gently, producing an almost fluffy texture that holds onto more of the vegetable's natural moisture instead of letting it separate and drain away. That distinction matters enormously for a dish like daikon orosher, the grated radish traditionally served alongside grilled fish or tempura specifically for its light, snow-like texture, since the same daikon grated on a coarse metal grater comes out closer to wet shredded cabbage, a completely different and less desirable result. Ceramic also has the advantage of never reacting with pungent or acidic ingredients, which is part of why it's frequently the preferred material for grating fresh ginger and wasabi root, where even a faint metallic taste from a steel grater can throw off the ingredient's more delicate, complex flavor. Most designs include a small built-in tray or lip along one edge specifically shaped to catch juice and pulp as you work, preventing mess on the cutting board or counter below. Because the teeth are ceramic rather than metal, the grating surface tends to stay sharp and effective for a genuinely long time without dulling, and it's typically dishwasher safe for easy cleaning between uses. For any dish that calls for a fine, moisture-rich grated vegetable rather than dry shreds, this specialized grater consistently produces a noticeably better texture than a standard box grater ever could. Number 3. Menkiri Bevel Cutter. The Menkiri Bevel Cutter, a small handheld tool specifically designed to round and smooth the sharp cut edges of vegetables before they go into a simmered dish, a traditional technique that solves a real, practical cooking problem. When vegetables like daikon, carrot, or potato are cut into cubes or wedges for a simmered dish, their sharp corners tend to knock against each other and against the pot during cooking, gradually breaking down and crumbling, which not only makes the finished dish look messy, but also releases excess starch into the cooking liquid, sometimes clouding the broth. The Menkiri tool addresses this directly by shaving a thin bevel along each cut edge, essentially softening every sharp corner into a smooth, rounded surface before the vegetable ever touches the pot. That small adjustment genuinely changes the outcome of a long simmered dish, since beveled vegetables hold their shape far better through extended cooking, staying visually intact and appealingly presented on the plate rather than falling apart into ragged, broken pieces after an hour of simmering. Most Menkiri tools resemble a small, curved peeler blade, angled specifically to shave a thin, even bevel with a quick rotating motion around each edge of a cut piece, and the technique itself, once learned, takes only a few seconds per piece. It's a distinctly traditional Japanese step that many Western cooking methods skip entirely, yet it's considered a basic, non-negotiable prep step in traditional simmered dishes like nikujiga or oden, where clean presentation and structural integrity matter as much as flavor. For anyone serious about replicating authentic Japanese simmered dishes at home, this small, specialized tool is exactly the kind of detail-focused gadget that closes the gap between a good result and a genuinely polished one. Number 2. Benriner Mandolin Slicer. The Benriner Mandolin Slicer, a lightweight plastic slicer that has become one of the most trusted vegetable cutting tools in kitchens worldwide, prized specifically for the level of control it offers relative to its low price and compact size. The tool consists of a flat frame with a razor-sharp blade set into the surface, paired with an adjustable dial that lets you dial in an exact slicing thickness, from paper-thin cucumber for a delicate salad to thicker planks suited for a vegetable gratin. Sliding food across the blade with the included finger guard produces remarkably uniform slices in seconds, a level of consistency that's genuinely difficult to achieve by hand with a knife, no matter how skilled the cook. That consistency matters directly for cooking results too, since evenly sliced vegetables cook at the same rate, avoiding the common problem of some pieces turning mushy while others stay undercooked in the same dish. Many versions include interchangeable julienne blades, letting you produce perfectly matched matchstick cuts for dishes like carrot and daikon enamel, or fine garnishes for miso soup and other traditional preparations. Because the body is lightweight plastic rather than heavy metal, it's easy to rinse clean, simple to store, and inexpensive enough that most kitchens treat it as an everyday workhorse rather than a precious specialty tool. The one genuine caution with the Benrunner is the exposed blade, which is sharp enough to cause real injury if used carelessly. So most experienced users treat the included finger guard with real respect rather than skipping it for convenience. Used properly, it turns what would be minutes of careful knife work into a task that takes seconds, which is exactly why it's earned such widespread trust among both professional chefs and home cooks working with Japanese-style vegetable preparations. Number 1. Yusuba Vegetable Knife. And that brings us to number 1. And it's not a gadget in the typical sense, but it's the single most essential vegetable cutting tool in traditional Japanese cooking, the Yusuba knife. Unlike the specialized single-purpose tools further down this list, the Yusuba is a traditional single-bevel knife designed specifically and exclusively for vegetable preparation, and its distinctive flat, rectangular blade shape is built entirely around achieving razor-thin, exceptionally clean cuts that a Western-style double-beveled knife simply can't replicate as precisely. The single bevel edge, sharpened on only one side rather than both, allows the blade to glide through vegetables with minimal resistance, producing cuts so clean and smooth that the vegetable cell walls stay largely intact rather than being crushed or torn the way a duller or improperly angled blade would leave them, which genuinely affects both texture and how well the vegetable absorbs seasoning afterward. That precision is exactly what makes the Yusuba the foundation for many of the specific techniques other tools on this list attempt to replicate or shortcut, including the paper-thin katsuramuki peeling technique and the delicate garnish work associated with kazarigiri, since a properly wielded Yusuba can perform nearly all of those cuts by hand in the grip of a genuinely skilled user. Traditional versions are made from high-carbon steel, prized for taking an extraordinarily sharp edge, though that same steel requires real maintenance, regular honing, and careful drying after each use to prevent rust, a genuine commitment compared to the low-maintenance stainless tools elsewhere on this list. Learning to use an Yusuba well takes real time and practice, since the single bevel design requires a different cutting angle and technique than most Western-trained cooks are used to. But it's precisely because the Yusuba is the foundational skill and tool behind so much of Japanese vegetable preparation, rather than a shortcut around it, that it earns the top spot on this list, representing not just a gadget, but the actual craft that every other tool here is built to support or simplify.